Yeah, we've listened to your story, and I love the message that you have of, how could somebody hate me when they don't even know me? And I'll just propose what I think the answer to that question might be. I just think it's just a misunderstanding, a misconception. What are your thoughts, and what have you come to recognize, after 50 years? I know that's a simplification of everything, but after 50 years of digging through this from the time you're 10 years old, what have you come to the conclusion of, if you have come to any sort of conclusion?
Yes, absolutely. And the answer to the question is ignorance. And I have been in 57 countries on 6 continents, and I have performed in 49 of our 50 states. So I have literally been exposed to a multitude of ethnicities, religions, traditions, cultures, socioeconomic statuses, etc. And all of that has helped shape my perspectives. And at the end of the day, what I've concluded is no matter to what ends of the earth I go, how many different people I meet, at the end of the day, we all are human beings, and we all want the same things. Unfortunately, what we have here in our country is somewhat unique. There is a discrimination of different kinds in other countries, like say in Israel, of course, the Palestinians and the Jews, and Lebanon, the Christians and the Muslims, in Ireland, the Protestants and the Catholics, in Rwanda at one time, the Hutus and the Tutsis, etc. So discrimination does exist, but what we have in our country is somewhat a little different, because we owned people. We owned them as property, as slaves, and we've never gotten over that, and for good reason. We've never received an apology. A lot of it is, in fact, ignorance. But the thing of it is ignorance can be cured. And we spend a lot of time addressing the wrong aspects, the stepchildren of ignorance, which are fear and hatred and destruction. We tend to address hatred. We tend to address fear. These are byproducts of ignorance, because I believe that ignorance is what breeds fear. We fear those things we don't understand, those things of which we are ignorant. If we don't keep that fear in check, then that fear will escalate and breed hatred, because we hate the things that frighten us. If we don't keep that hatred in check, that hatred in turn will escalate and breed destruction. So if we cure the ignorance, which we can, and there is a cure for ignorance, that is called education. If we cure the ignorance, then we have nothing to fear, because we understand. So if we have nothing to fear, there's nothing to hate. If there's nothing to hate, there's nothing to destroy. So we got to go to the source. The source is ignorance. Just like, if you have cancer in the bone, you can't put a Band-Aid on top of your skin. You got to drill down to the source.
So I had literally one of the best nights this week. All right, I'm coming home. I get home from jiu-jitsu practice. I walk up to my door, and in front of the door is a nice white box. Guess what's in it, guys?
What is it?
Certified Piedmontese beef.
Nuh-uh.
So,
lying, bro.
Yeah. So I had the gold-plated ribeyes, which you guys know it's like the one that's in gold. The skirt steaks. I had some sliders. I also had some flat irons.
Oh man!
And we've been talking about how good flat irons are. I haven't been a big fan, because I haven't been able to have that many, but I had some the other day. So I took it out. I let it get to room temperature, because we always talk about that. You got to let the steak sit for a little bit. Coated that motherfucker in salt. Okay. So I let it sit, put it in my air fryer, because I'm simple like that. Put it in for about 10 minutes, brought it out, and oh my God. I think it has like 60 grams of protein and 8 grams of fat, but that's a really good ratio. But it was so good.
I haven't heard anything you said, because I'm still thinking about those sliders.
Yeah, no, the sliders are good too. But remember, guys, I let that shit sit after I brought it out of the air fryer.
That's the hardest part.
So
Yeah, that's crucial. I mean, you guys know flat irons are my jam. It's the best part of my day is coming home and cooking up a Piedmontese flat iron steak. But what's even better is I don't have to deal with the grocery store. They got 85 checkout lines with like 2 cashiers. Like, dude, something's got to change. And I don't know about you guys, but like we train early, we train hard, we work hard all day long.
Yeah.
The last thing that I am like capable of doing is making a smart decision when I'm tired. Yeah. It's so awesome that Piedmontese is just going to deliver it to me. I don't have anything to worry about. You guys shouldn't have anything to worry about either. You guys can get this awesome steaks delivered to your doorstep. Head over to Piedmontese.com. That's PIEDMONTESE.com. At checkout, enter promo code Power Project for 25% off your order. And if your order is $99 or more, you get free 2-day shipping.
You know, I'm so curious about this because when you're talking about educating people, right?
Right.
You derobed over 200 clan members, and you know, thinking about most of us, like I would not be willing to talk to that type of individual. Number one, because I would think that there's no way that they could be changed. That belief is so deep, right? That they hate you just because of the color of your skin or because of what you were born as. Most people wouldn't be willing to have a conversation with that type of individual, or even to want to be in the same room as that type of individual. What was it within you that made you want to actually not just have conversations with them, but even as they were continuing to hold those beliefs about you, they were looking at you and talking to you, and they obviously felt a certain way about you and believed certain things about you, that you were still willing to be friends with them, not just talk with them?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. You wouldn't want to have a conversation with those people, as you said, but yet you're having a conversation with me, who believes in the power of change. Now, just like you, I grew up hearing the same cliches and quotes. A tiger doesn't change its stripes. A leopard doesn't change its spots. Why would a Klansman change his robe and hood? You know, it's a good question, right? Well, the fact is, the leopard and the tiger were born with those stripes and spots. A Klansman or Klanswoman or neo-Nazi, because those 200 include also neo-Nazis. People just say KKK, whatever. But anyway, they were not born being racist. You don't inherit racism genetically. It's something that you acquire through learned behavior. Now, granted, I agree with you. Sometimes it is very, very deep-rooted because it's been in their family for years. My grandfather was a Klansman. My daddy was a Klansman, so I'm a Klansman. My kids are going to be Klan people. You know, family tradition passed down. That's very deep-rooted. But, again, it's a learned behavior, and it can be unlearned. And let me tell you something that happens with me when I give lectures. I do 50 to 80 lectures a year all over the country and around the world, mostly universities, colleges, sometimes corporations, companies, civic organizations, churches, synagogues, police departments, etc., but mostly colleges and universities. I've come to learn this. 2 to 3 out of every 10 lectures I give, at the end, I'll do a Q&A. And, I bring some robes and hoods with me that I've acquired from these people when they've given it up. And people will I'll answer the questions. At the end of the Q&A, I'm done. Still, there'll be students who come up to the podium to ask one last question, or they want to touch one of the robes or whatever. 2 or 3 out of 10 times, there'll be one student standing over there in the distance. And I've come to learn what's going to happen. He or she is waiting for the crowd to go away. And when the crowd goes away and I'm packing up my robes and hoods and stuff, that person will walk over to me. And I know what's going to happen. But I just play dumb, and I just, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, hi, Mr. Davis. I really enjoyed your lecture, blah, blah, blah. And then they get to the point. They look around, make sure nobody else is around where they can hear. They say, my mother is in the Klan, or my father is in the Klan. And I was raised that way. And now I'm here at University of Georgia, Athens, or, wherever I may be speaking. And I'm dating this guy from Pakistan, or my girlfriend's Black, or my boyfriend's Jewish. I can't tell my parents, they'll kill me, or they'll disown me. And I can't tell my friend because they'll drop me. So they got this secret that's burning on their chest, and they don't know what to do with it. And they have to let somebody know. So I'm the perfect person. They want to know how to handle this. What do they do? Because, see, these people come from a neighborhood that is homogenous, where people pretty much, they go to the same high school, they cheer the same sports team, they swim in the same community swimming pool, they all buy their groceries at the same market or grocery store, what have you. They vote for the same people. So all that is embedded there. And then when they come to college or university, it's not the high school group there. There are people there from all over the country and all over the world. And now they are being exposed to something that was not in the neighborhood. And they're having to rationalize. They were told Jewish people have horns, Black people have tails, and they're finding out this is not true. And what do they do with this education? You know, their parents wanted them to be educated, but they didn't want them to come home with a Jewish boyfriend or a Black girlfriend, you know? So they are learning exposure. And when you say that you could never sit down and talk to one of these people, that's what we have to do. And I tell you, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. You got something to teach them. They got something to learn. And we can learn from them too, what is it that they fear? If we can learn that, we can address it, especially if there's no reason to fear.